So yes, my name is Morten, and I come from Semler. I'm going to introduce you to Semler in just a slide or two, and then I'm going to take you on a journey. Not the likes or the ones we have seen this morning. You are truly experts. This is more from a marketing perspective. Just as Simon told us this morning, we need to see a revolution. We don't have that revolution in the automotive industry, so I'm going to start by taking it from the marketing perspective, turning it into the CX perspective, and then you will see the misalignment, and then hopefully we will have Simon come to our headquarters once here in the spring to tell the management how it should be done. So I'm the CMO, and I'm also the CXO, and also head of the online sales at Semler. And yes, and if you don't know Semler, we are the biggest conglomerate in Denmark. Also actually here in Sweden with premium cars. We have the brands of Volkswagen Group. We have had that for 75 years. Family-owned business, 108 years old. We are more conservative than the Catholic Church. So it's a mess to try to do this change. And you see why. We have 30 companies, that's 30 companies within the organization. And right now we are in the middle of changing our DMS, dealer management system, for the entire organization. It has right now taken more than 2 years. It will take more than 18 months from now. And it will be done in week 42 in October 26. It's autumn holiday, so I hope I will be on holiday for that week. I don't know why they have chosen the autumn holiday. Maybe they will change that. I don't know. So, okay, wrong. So today we're gonna, focus on the importer division where I'm sitting with my teams and the dealers. And you'll just see just between the dealers and the importer division, we have a huge misalignment. Sometimes it amazes you that we can actually sell cars. But I'm honest with you now. We have some truly amazing brands here. Recognize that they are, they used to be maybe coming back again with Elon going nuts in the US. One of the most impressive brands, recognized high awareness and German, what you call Vorsprung durch Technik, at least with Audi. So we are very privileged, but things are changing. And this is also the picture of the mess we have at our hands here. So my belief is that if you don't make anything good for anyone, you're out of the market. So we need to be there, and usually we had these cars and they were practically selling themselves. So last year we had a record-breaking year, 28.1% of the market share. The first 2 months have been staggering, 41% of the market. We are selling more Porsches than there are sold Citroëns in Denmark. And it's all down to, of course, the brands, but also down to the data. And I'm going to show you in a bit from the marketing perspective how we utilize that. So our core belief is that we need to be the most digital provider of mobility solutions. And the reason why is that is because we're trying to change the organization, the company, for being transactional around the product to be relational around the person, the consumer or the customer. And I'm having a struggle internally talking about consumer versus customer. Because what you will see in a bit, and maybe you will not believe me, hopefully the next slide, the slide after that, will change your mind because we need to say goodbye to the existing business model because things are changing. The way you own your car will change. And some of you maybe already using car sharing apps, whatever, and it will be the way to commute or at least to mobilize yourself from point A to point B in the near future. And what is the near future? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Who knows? Right now, the automotive industry, at least in Europe, is heavily under pressure from Xi in the East, coming in with new products, technology, and so on and so forth. A different view on where you want to put your data in a Chinese cloud, than maybe an American cloud with Elon. And then you have Putin in the middle, sucking the life and the economy out of the German society. So that's basically the triangle of sadness, and then on top of that, you have Trump. So we are, and we need to navigate in that as well. So this is what's going to happen. Just like you consume music today, you will, in the end, in a few years, 5, 10 years, you will consume mobility. And I'm not saying that because I know it. Yeah, maybe even, I might know, I don't know. But you will, because that is the way we and big players not in the automotive industry will present and offer you mobility in the future. So they will buy car parks, fleets of 500, 1,000, 2,000 cars being around in the city, also out of the cities to you as a mobility offer. Because we are now, we can actually, autonomous mobility, we have autonomous mobility in the Semler Group as well. That is mainly drones, where we fly medical stuff out in the fjords of Norway. But eventually we'll also have this in the cars as well. So you will actually, have your app, and then you will, when you go down shopping, take a small car, and when you go to the theater, you'll take a bigger car. You will go to commute and visit your family in Jutland. You'll go maybe even a bus. I don't know. But this is what's going to happen, and then we need to change as an organization as well. So recognize the fact that we have been selling cars for 108 years. Last 75 years, it has been a Volkswagen car, or the brands around the Volkswagen Group. And we are pretty good at it. We are indoor world champion in Denmark at least. And we're also pretty good at the marketing, which is I'm going to tell you about, because so we're changing from the hardware to the software. And when you have the software, you have a lot of data. You have the IoT data. So all the data the cars gives you. So a lot of these data goes down to the OEM, to the Volkswagen Group. So we're trying to sneak that data into our system. We can have some of it. We have our own dongles. It's a little thing you put in, a little chip putting in the car. We call it connected cars, for us to prepare our service stations for all the customers and the users of our cars out there to be ready to take them in at the service station, maybe even before they know it. But also, software gives us the opportunity to, do more one-to-one communication based on their needs and their behavior, and actually also on the transactional behavior in our bank. So we are, as I said, we are going from the car to the customer, and in German, das Auto to der Kunde, der Kunde. And she's smiling, and it's all good, and we're selling a lot of them, and we are very happy. So when you need to do this change, at least from a marketing perspective, we need to be sure that we have our first-party and zero-party data strategies in our hands. So what I've seen the last 5 years is that the change is not coming in a pace that I would like to. We had a strategy period from 2020 to 2025 or 2024 called Similar Ways. And now we have a new 5-year strategy period called Future Drive 2030. And it's basically nearly the same, saying that we need to be customer-centric. We need to be there where the customers are. But I don't really see the change. So I'm trying to do the change from a marketing perspective, and then just put it all over to the dealers and to the product and sales department. And we are having a jolly good time trying to do so because we face a lot of resistance out there. But it's good fun. And when you have meetings with those guys in the other departments, you realize that everybody, you're perfectly entitled to have your own opinion, but of course not your own facts. So if you have your facts, you will win every discussion you can imagine. So that's how I try to turn the organization upside down from the marketing perspective. So the first thing we're doing is to do a group consent. So we have a lot of people browsing our websites, but they're just on the websites, browsing around. We don't know them yet, then they go from unknown to known. But then we realize that they're only in the if you recognize the organizational chart, they're only over on the left. But most of the businesses is in the that's your left, that's your right, my left, is at the bank. We earn more money lending money out than actually selling cars. So we have our own bank, we have our own leasing system. We used to have Danske Bank. We don't anymore. At least you are our bank, but we had Nordea. I can't remember the name. Nordania. Yeah, now we have our own leasing company. So we're seeing that people are browsing around, and we actually don't know them. And the journeys they are on from a marketing perspective are very fragmented. And when you go from the marketing perspective to the real world, to the analog real world, it's even worse. So what we see here is when I try to see, we have this consent pool of nearly 20% of the Danes. We have progressively profiling them based on their transactional, their online behavior, and the zero-party, first-party data. See if we can, try to basically sell more services, cars to more people whenever they are on their journey, regardless of whatever drivetrain, way of owning the cars, regardless of any brand. And top management, they love this. Oh, that's cool, Morten. That's very cool. How do you do it? Yeah, we try to do it from a marketing perspective, but actually we should try to do it from an organizational perspective, to have all our processes, all our journeys centered around the customers in order for us to be able to actually do this. Also in the analog world, when you come in and a dealer and they know everything about you because you're well equipped. So in average, our customers or the consumers, whatever you choose to say here, use 16 hours on our websites. And then we have the IoT data and of course also the transactional data, so we know a lot about them. So what I'm going to show you now is it's a SaaS solution called SalesWings. It's actually a sales tool, but we use it as a tracking tool just for you to see how they browse around, how much time they use here, and how we actually enable this data to try to do our CX afterwards. It should start now. You have the browser up there. We have 1,400 tags. I'm looking at Thomas. Is that correct? Yeah. Yes, that's correct. So whenever they are, you can see various color codes, various brands, configuration, download price list. So it's just, these are the guys looking at, or girls looking at Skoda Enyaq and VW Passat. And you can see then, how many times they've been 173 8 hours ago. They have a lead score. It's very marketing, but also we have these journeys in marketing. You can see the activity history, and you can see where they came in, and it's all good fun. We take all these data, put it into our tech stack, that is Salesforce. Mainly we use the marketing cloud for do the one-to-ones, journeys, automated flows in our automation marketing department. And when I show this, I try to use this as a sign of that this is actually front-end CX. So people, they can go around and they press the buttons and they utilize our sites. But it's what happens next that's really generate the money in our organization. And sometimes, as I said to you, this is very good, but what happens next, nobody really knows. Because we have systems which are 45 years old. I'm 45 years old. So it's as old as I am. That's why we're changing it now. So we have people that, I really don't know how they come from this to there, but if I press this button, they go from this to there. So we have a lot going on right now. We have 100 people working on trying to see if we can get our hands into the systems and see what's up and down. So, but still, from a marketing perspective, I will come to the CX, is that we do this progressive profiling. That's our zero-party strategy. Always try to know what should be the next offer to these customers, regardless if it's easy or not for them to navigate in our systems and in our websites. And when you have that, you can do this. And then when you show this to the management, oh, that's very cool. That's very, very cool. So we have 39,000 people who would like, as we speak, to buy a new car. And last year we sold 55,000 cars, 70,000 cars, 55 to customer paid business. So actually we have 80% of our consumers already saying to us they would like to buy a new car this year. And that's also why we're doing quite a good job. So again, nothing really about CX here. It's just for me to say that, yeah, of course, we do this one-to-one communication, and we are quite good at it. Also from the email, the paid media, and on the websites. But when and then it looks like this. Don't want to dig too much into it, but that could be a journey. That's a journey from the marketing perspective. Underneath, we have a lot of systems. We have a lot of processes which needs to be aligned. So when shit hits the fan, we have this. So this is our digital control tower. Now I'm going into your domain of CX. So this is what I wanted to do 5 years ago, that we have data coming in from, and it's from the right, from your left, yeah, from your left. And it's not a linear process. We have data coming in from almost everywhere, and we don't know them. Maybe we know them, maybe we don't know that we know them at this point. They need to, make themselves known. And they go into our system, and then we try to sell them some cars, used cars, new cars, lease cars, cars, short-term rentals, whatever. And right now we have had data for 3 years coming through this, and we have actually real-time customer conversions. I can see right now, I have my laptop in my car, hopefully also when we're done, but I can see what they have been pressing and where they bought their car. So what can you use that for in terms of CX? You can actually do this by using a propensity score on what will they do next, and then you need to work your way from there in terms of the CX and the processes and the owners and the data points and so on and so forth. And then you can actually have a pretty good dialogue with the OEM. So we can talk with the manufacturers that we need this specific set of modules or cars in this specific ways of ownership when we need that in October this year. And it's pretty good. And now I wanted to show you a dashboard. You'll have that later, to see how good we are actually on taking it from, if that's A, to C or B or whatever. So we're very good. But there's a stinky fish in the room because we are totally not aligned with our dealers out there. So we have 120 dealers. 20 of them are owned by Semler. So we have 100 approximately dealers. And some of them, they have, just inherited the dealer in Hjørring or Næstved or whatever. And they're not, CXers, they're not marketeers, they're just basically people selling cars. I soon realized that we are not in a good position, or we are in a good position, but we could be in an even better position. So I called our group CEO 18 months ago maybe. He's called Ulrik, stand-up guy. We have a very flat hierarchy, so he usually takes the phone when I call him. And I said to him, well, we really need to do our job better. We need to sit down and map our experiences or customer experience throughout, at least from the importer to the dealers. So he said, okay, you just invite the management, and I will be at the table as well, and you just do it. Okay. So we did that. Very hot day in Brøndby. So you see, Ulrik is the guy on the picture from the left here, in the white shirt, and I actually had them for 6 hours. That's a long time with top management, 6 hours, and it was really good. And we soon realized that we agreed to disagree on almost everything. So that was a good starting point, so that we could work ourselves from there. And I usually call Ulrik and say, well, we need to do it again and again and again and again. And now we luckily have hired a person, she's also here today, for us to handle all this customer management and the processes and all the things underneath that. So what we did was, what I wanted to show them is that I think that we can do a better job to be aligned, to have the consent, and to have the data, and have all the things which could be, where there could be a misalignment, because right now we are confusing the customers. And to be frank with you, if we were selling other car brands than the ones I just showed you, we might not be in a position where we are today. That's my personal opinion. I used to say it to the management, also the board of directors. Not so popular, but I'm still here. So I try to be frank with them. So what did we do then? So a lot of you have talked about mapping. So we did that as well. We did a Semler experience map. And what maybe you cannot read it in the top right corner, but it can be seen from various perspectives, from the customers, from the customer interaction center, from the importer division, and also from the dealers. And then you can, it's interactive, and then you can press, and then it's all centered around the life of mobility. Not only buying a car, selling a car, having the cars on the service station. And underneath of this, we have all the, the data touch points, the processes, the owners, and then we can work our way from there in order to actually try to change the organization from, I love to see it from the marketing perspective, but actually just from a business growth perspective. So it's just, you can see, this is when you buy or lease a car, you need to be absolutely, aligned or agree on these are the points. If you're not agree on the journeys that meets the customers or the potential customers, the consumers, you will be misaligned. But we agree on the journey, but we are still misaligned. So we have a job to do here. So then you can see if you have car problems, and then you can see up in the top corner, that's the dark blue. That's the part of the life of having a car when you are at Semler of one of our brands. And then you can also, when you have the car at the service station. So we worked our way from there. And I would love to stand here and say that we succeeded. That's why I need you, Simon, to come by our office, because we are not. So we agreed to disagree on many things, and we have mapped it all, and we are about to change our dealer management system, but we still need to utilize all these data, all these touch points, and try to put it into our new strategy, which is this Future Drive 2030. But they just agreed this 1 week ago that I should try to do it all again. So we try to do it all again, and it's going to be good fun again. And hopefully this time we'll have more success on that. So I showed this to them. It's because buying a car is all about the personal relationship with the dealer, or at least it used to be, because now you equip yourself with all sorts of information from influencers and things you can read on our websites. But it's all about the relations and the trust. And then we need to have the terms and conditions right, and be ever present for the consumers, for them to understand, because we are an inside-out business. We talk automotive. People they don't understand automotive. So that's also a thing. And what I always try to see, because I'm sitting at the headquarters, I worked at Audi beforehand. I got this position. I've been at Semler 7 years. In between Audi and my current position, I had the BI department for 1.5 years for the group. And I tried to take all the guys from the BI department to the dealers, because generally the headquarters, they don't understand the dealers, and the dealers, they don't understand the headquarters. So what I used to say, it's people business, because when you are about to buy a car, it's all about the trust you have between the person in front of you. Also, of course, you need to have the trust in the brand and the technology, but it's also the trust in the people. So we used to be more focused on the digital part and the CX part, but we also need to be focusing on the people part, and that's all about change management. We have a change management department right now, trying to change the perception and try to change all our dealers out there to be equipped for the change which will happen in the near future. So hopefully, as I said, alignment, consent data, and of course you cannot come from marketing without mentioning AI. It's another presentation, but what we are trying to do right now is to be if marketing is the importer and sales is the dealer, to be predictive and proactive based on the data we have, in order for us to make the CX journeys rightfully in terms of processes and systems, and also in terms of the people in front of the consumers, for them to understand it, because they generally don't understand the processes underneath. So there's a big change management development assignment here for a lot of our people in that department, to go out and tell them basically what I've told you, a bit more words and maybe a bit more detailed than I just did. So that's where we are right now, and then we will see that hopefully that it will be a seamless process. I'm also in charge of, as I said, online sales, and what we are seeing right now is that it's not only Teslas being sold online. So we did a study last year from 500 private leasing customers, and only 6 of them had been visiting the dealer and did a test drive. So they actually buy into the process, and they buy into the brand, and they buy into the technology, and of course they buy into the price because it was low. But we need to be adapting that as well also for the dealers, because what we saw was that when they came down to the dealers and wanted to have the car, the dealers, they haven't been part of the process. So some of them, they just, here's the key, and you can find the car out here. So they were not part of the process, not part of the journey. So we also need to do that. If we like to have the change. I don't know about the time now, so this was the dashboard I wanted to show you from the marketing perspective. So we actually now able to see almost everything from they come in from the segment to they do the test drive to the do selling the car, and also how much money we earn on that one. We don't show that to the management because then they will tend to be too focused on that number. And then also we try to build in the ROI factor on each campaign. And again, I know it's only from the marketing perspective, but if you don't see the change from other areas within your business or your organization, you need to try to do the change from your own department. And that's kind of like my vision here, is trying to do the change if you don't see it. And I think we are in a good position. Otherwise, I need to call Ulrik again and try to see if we could do it all over again. That was actually it. Last slide.